Sparking Change with Gigi, a show that aims to make the world a better place by bringing together authentic minds. This show encourages each of us to be the change we wish to see in the world. Get ready to be inspired and join us on this journey to create a brighter future for all.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Sparking Change with Gigi. I'm your host, Giovanna Tartavone, and this is our special episode on Why Women Rise. And I have a wonderful guest who came back to share us all the wonderful things that she has done that really, she is the proof of why women rise. Havilah Malone, welcome again. Thank you so much for coming. On a short notice, I really appreciate you. You're doing so much, and I just want the world to hear your story. So I'm going to just give a little bit of bio about you, and then we'll go on to the video. So Havilah Malone is a multi-talented artist and entrepreneur on a mission to be a catalyst for positive change in over 2 billion people's lives, inspiring and equipping leaders to unlock their intuitive geniuses and confidently communicate their value. She's a 3 times best-selling author, award-winning actress, spoken word artist, and an executive producer, inspires audience to be proof of what's possible. Thank you so much for being here again. And, you know, we have so much in common. You know, we spoke offline, and I feel you because we're on the same mission. And I see you on social media, and I see, you know, from a vision to actually bringing it live into your life. And, you know, I just feel like the world needs to know, like, there's no secret here. It's a formula, right? It's a formula. So just tell us a little bit about you, and then we're going to show the video that has touched so many lives to help people understand what's possible for them.
Certainly. I'm originally from New Orleans, Louisiana. More specifically, if you're familiar with the area, from Kenner. So when you fly into New Orleans, you actually fly into Kenner. And living out here in Los Angeles, I consider myself just a highly effective communicator, and I do that across multiple platforms, whether that be in books or on stages or on television. And it's just about being able to connect people back to the power of who they are and what we came here to do in these lives. And yes, we go on roller coasters when it comes to, you know, struggles or challenges or, you know, traumatic experiences, but there's also a lot of beauty and wonder and amazing things. And I am here in this life to be proof of what's possible and to help others to stand into that space as well within their lives to do what they want to do with their lives. So I really enjoy being able to write books that empower people, be able to work in television, whether that's in a television show. I've been on multiple shows, like from HBO's Insecure to HBO's Buried to NCIS. Also, I do a lot of commercials, work with a lot of brands. In fact, I leave out of the country tomorrow to be able to shoot a new campaign. And it's just really enjoying the gifts that I have not only been given, but cultivated through my life, and then being able to put those gifts to use in the world. We just released a new spoken word album called Proof of What's Possible that really just drops people deeply into their knowing, because at the end of the day, you already know. You know, that's so beautiful, but you've done the work. You've done the work to understand that anything is possible, right? And I'm going to just share your video so people get to know you really, really well, because it's one of that really, like, I mean, you're speaking with conviction. You're speaking with knowing that once you discover who you are, you become unstoppable. You become the proof that's what's possible. So let's take a quick look at the video.
Time is precious. It is something that is fleeting. Every second, every minute, every hour, every day that goes by, What are we doing with our time? What legacy are you leaving on this planet right here, right now?
There is a power in her voice that you can almost feel to your soul.
You know, the average human lifespan is 28,782 days. 28,782 days.
How often do we give up on our dreams because we're not getting the result that we want in the moment?
We have the choice to write our own story. We look in the mirror sometimes and we're like, you know what? You're not good enough. You're not smart enough. You're not pretty enough. You're not talented enough. You don't have enough information. Those are the stories we tell ourselves when we are powerful beyond measure. The opportunity is everywhere. It is everywhere. Will you seize it? Will you grab hold of it? Will you step up into it when it presents itself to you? Every step that you take, every part of your journey is important. Even sometimes the back slides. Why? Because the pain that we go through sometimes also helps to prepare us for the platform that we're going to stand on.
Her presence, she's so just strong in herself. You can tell she's a woman who knows herself and is comfortable being with anybody.
Literally, we have gold within us. Those gifts, those talents, all of those things, those dreams that you have, those aspirations, they are literally waiting to be mined.
Please welcome author and motivational speaker, and when she isn't writing or speaking, she's tending to her massive collection of dolls.
Miss Louisiana Universal, Havilah Malone. She's an incredibly inspirational woman. She has a collection of over 300 Barbie dolls.
I collected Barbies for about 20 years, and the Barbies for me stood for all the things I wanted in life, because I didn't feel, from the inside, I didn't feel confident and I didn't feel beautiful, but I was able to look at these dolls and kind of see what I wanted.
Yeah,
and
you lived through the dolls.
Exactly, and I was living inside of a box, and that stemmed from my own experience being molested as a child.
As I would look at those dolls, I would see all of these possibilities. Possibilities that I wanted, but I didn't see in myself. And so you can never be what you can't see. The strength that she carries and her ability to connect with everybody she comes in contact with.
Her passion was contagious. She sparkles. She's just a dynamic, passionful woman who's got a lot to say, of quality, and she's inspiring.
That story that I kept telling myself over and over again about how I wasn't good enough was a lie. We lie to ourselves all the time because you do have what it takes. You are good enough. You do have the skill sets, and whatever you don't have, you can get it.
Does she sound like a motivational speaker?
She is terrific.
She was put on this earth to really be able to help other women and people in general to really be able to recognize what they can achieve, her part in helping that come about. So I encourage you to not just look at the people who are doing the things that you want, not just watching them, but go for it. Be proof of what is possible in life, because you can. No matter where you've come from, no matter what you've gone through, you got this.
Wow. That's all I can say is wow. Like, did you see yourself doing that when you thought the world was falling apart? Think about that. Can you hear me?
I muted myself during the time the video was playing. I think there's definitely been times that I have been given visions like throughout my entire life. And there have been times, of course, that I did not believe the visions that I was given because it was just like, not me, why would that be for me when I had such low self-esteem, and I had such destructive thoughts around myself because of situations that I had gone through that created a belief system of limitation, created a belief system of less than. And so I would be inspired by things or be like, well, oh my God, that would be amazing to live that life or to do that thing. But it was just like, not me, even though the whispers that were there were saying, yes, you. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Not me. Yes, you. And so it has been a journey of doing the internal reconditioning work, the internal rewiring work.
Yes.
That my thoughts about myself align with the visions that I was given. So now I am living that.
And you definitely are. And, but you did the work. I remember in our last show, we spoke about the other self, right? And I'll bring it up again. I mean, I have 2 master's degrees, and I will tell you, I never heard of the term, the other self, your higher self. I'm like, what are these terms, right? But when we get reconnected, and that's that voice, that's that, your soul calling you to do something bigger than you. And it could be scary because once you make that connection and it's got your attention, well, listen, you have nowhere to go but to listen to it, because now you're much bigger than you thought you were because of the conditioned mind that you said.
Yes.
But, right? And you said yes to yourself. You really did. Like I did, right? We had to give up what we believed. We had to really go through this transformation of letting the old go away and letting the new come in, and not give up regardless of what anyone says. Share with us like a story of your personal journey when you truly had to go down this path of like, oh my God, I'm so much more than I think I am. I can do so much more than I thought I could, right?
I think, and it's a scary yet exciting place to be within our lives when we start to get glimpses into, wait, there's more, and that more is available to me, but that requires a change in me, that requires me to do something different. And we get so caught up in our comfort zone. And even when we're uncomfortable, it's still a routine and a pattern that we are used to. And so I grew up in a highly religious household, and I'll preface this. My belief system now of what I know and have experienced as of this day, and I'm one that, you know what? If I'm shown better, then I will continue to shift what it is that I believe or what it is that I know. But as of now, we are spiritual beings having a human experience. And with that, I have a belief that we, as being a part of this greater one, this oneness that we are, we choose to come into this human experience, this 3-dimensional reality of taste, touch, feel experience. Right. And so in doing that or making that choice, we even choose the families we come into. We choose the circumstances that we come into for the lessons that we came here to learn and experiences we came here to have. Yeah. So I know that this soul, this spirit that embodies or is housed within this body, chose my life. And so I grew up in a highly religious household where everything was like, what it was that I was supposed to do with this life, how I was supposed to believe, behave, what my hope for the future was all within a box. And I learned that box very, very well. And I was able to live in accordance with those belief systems and those patterns for the majority of my life. But there was always these inner whispers of, this is not the end. This is not even the totality of it. There's more. And you have to step out of this box so that you can have the exposure to all of what you are, all of who you are and what you came here to do. And so, but I knew with stepping outside of that box came with consequences. It came with my being excommunicated, my being completely torn apart and away from friends, family, and the life that I knew. And so that was something that I, for years, avoided, because I'm like, I don't want to lose like everything that I know. I don't want to lose, all of these things that are important to me. But I also knew that I had to choose me. I had to choose my truth and what I was coming to learn, and finally listening to that internal guidance system that we've all been given, so that I could live a life that was truly fulfilling and not try to contort myself into somebody else's box. And so I would say, of many breakthroughs and decisions that I've had to make, from even I was molested in my youth. And so being able to finally break my silence of that in my adult years and do the healing work along that journey. So there've been so many pivotal points in my life that have shaped the person who I am today, and that I had to make a choice. I had to make a choice to do something different and to choose me.
Yes, absolutely. And we're not taught to do that. We're not taught to choose us. We're taught to just continue to give, give, give. And, I always say, I learned from Oprah, you got to fill up your cup first before you can fill up somebody else's cup. And, that doesn't stick to you until you see that you don't have any more to give. Like, if you're unhappy with the world, it's because we're not filling up our cup. We're not giving, to ourselves the compassionate, the nurturing that our body, mind, and soul and spirit needs in order to feel good about ourselves.
A lot of times we don't know. We don't even know what it is that we want, because we've never asked ourselves that question and really listened for the answer to reveal itself. We know what other people want for us. We know what we've been told we should want. We know what the American dream is. We know all of these conditions, but do we know what we want?
And that's the magic question, right? When we discover what we want and we go after it, regardless of all the jumps that we have to go through, regardless of all the people that need to get out of our way to make it happen, right? It's going at, every successful person, Tony Robbins says, success leaves clues. And if you look at all the people that have been successful, they, like you said, they had to get out of the box. They had to go into the unknown. I say, either you're living in fear and you're stealing your journey, right? It's taking away, it's stopping you from experiencing and expressing yourself, or you're stepping into faith, the unknown, and you get rewarded so greatly for doing things that are unseen, that you don't know what the result. The results could be like you fall on your butt and people make fun of you, and that's okay. Like, having that, I'm okay with that, because I'm getting closer to where I want to be, to what I want to experience, right? And I'm sure you've had situations where you worked so hard, but there's one that I would love for you to share, because when I saw you on TikTok, and I think it was, or Instagram, I believe, and you literally were bawling out saying, here's my vision board. And here it is right now. It actually came alive. Let's talk about that experience, because if I tell you, I felt like I was in the room with you, and I do know that what you were describing can happen for anyone, right? So yeah, let's go through that journey, like how you put them on that board, what your vision was, and how it came to life, because that's a beautiful story. That's the proof. That's the proof of what's possible.
So what you're referring to, this month, I released a new spoken word album, and that album called Proof of What's Possible. And so it's about reconnecting you with the truth of who you are and the power you possess. And when I was given the vision for that album, it showed me that it was going to be more than just the audio experience of having a album, but it was also going to be a visual album or short films that were in alignment with the tracks that were on that album. It was going to be immersive experiences. Like there were so many things that, you know, downloaded or came to me of like this world that is being built from this album so that people can receive the messages that they need in the ways that most resonate with them. And so one of the things that had come to me was, so the first track on the album is called I'm in Love. And I was like, okay, so if I'm supposed to do a video around this or do a film around this, well, you got to show me what it is. Like you gotta give me the vision then. And so I remember a download came and it showed me like from beginning to end this vision of this film. And I was like, wow, I was like, that's good. But I was like, I'm not sure that that's it, because it's not really, you know, it's not powerful enough. It's not like just hitting me. And so I remember I got another vision, but it only showed me like almost like to halfway through. And I'm like, well, this can't be it because you didn't show me the whole thing. So I was like, I can't do nothing but half a vision. And that happened one more time. Like it came through and a new vision came through of the video. And again, it only showed me bits and pieces. And so I was like, okay, well, I know that what it's supposed to be, you're going to give me the whole vision. And then the next one that came through, it showed me from beginning all the way to the end. And I just remember sitting there and being like, oh my God, whoa, okay, that's it. And so I took that vision that I had seen and I wrote it all down on paper. And then because I'm a visual person, I created like a storyboard bringing in images that were representative of what it was that I had seen in my mind. And so I created the storyboard and I remember saying, okay, now you've given me the vision. I see it, you know, even in the Bible, it says, he like write the vision and make it plain so he who reads it can run with it. And so I was like, okay, cool. You've given me the vision. I've got it down.
Yeah.
Now what? and then the people who were supposed to be a part of it started coming to me. And so I was shown who the director was going to be, Roberta Sparta. So I was like, okay, I'll reach out to her. My production coordinator, my videographer, and my cinematographers, like all of these people, like who was supposed to be in the film, like the actors, like I started getting the insight, their names literally started just popping up and the roles and everything. And so I just captured it all down. And then I was like, okay, I'll make these calls. And I started reaching out to people and it was yeses and yeses. And even in the situation, because there was a location that we needed for one of the scenes for a flower shop. And I remember I was like, oh, there's one like pretty close to me out here in Hollywood. And so I was like, oh, I'll go talk to them, see if we can use this location to film. And I remember after having like multiple communication, you know, with them, going there in person, and then it ended up kind of falling apart and, you know, it was a no, it wasn't going to be a good, you know, fit for them. And so it was just like, okay, well, we still need this location. And the location that ended up being provided was so much better and so much.
I love that.
And so it was just like, even your no's are actually closed doors to make room for the doors you're supposed to walk through. And I'm like, had even the first location that we had for one of our like major scenes in the film, it just was not working out. Like the coordinators of that location was not getting back to us on time. And it was just like, okay, we're whittling down now. It's like almost the days for filming. We got to lock this location in. And then the location that we ended up getting is extraordinary, like beyond, it's like even beyond what I saw in my vision. And it was just like, when something does not work out for you, it is for your highest and best good. And when we can receive that and know that the vision that we've been given, the provision for that will be provided, and it will all fall in place. And so now our film is done. We have been invited to at this point, we've been invited to over 230 film festivals around the world to be able to submit our film. And we just got our first acceptance from the Red Movie Awards in France. And so I'm just like,
it's beautiful. It's beautiful. You see, so you're truly describing putting together a vision that, even though it was blurry and you did not know how, but you asked. And we do not learn to ask the higher self. We learn to just say, no, it's impossible. Nobody else did it. Or who am I? Like you're saying in the video, you're doubting yourself that you can go and receive, or you can have this, right? So we're going to take a short commercial break, and I want to come back, and I really want to talk about, like, you weren't always like this. You did some really deep personal development work, inner work, whatever you want to call it, but you truly had to transform yourself from the inside out in order to receive and see the beautiful light that you carry within you. So we'll be right back. That was a very quick one. So let's talk about, like, your daily practice. I know you have a spiritual practice. We learned that when we do this inner work, we understand what comes first.
Yes.
Right? So let's talk about that, because I love for people to get a good understanding of, things just don't magically happen unless you do the work and you make a commitment, but the commitment to yourself and the creator who put you here on this earth.
Yes. Speaking of like daily habits, daily practices. So as I change, sometimes my practices change. And so I am in my journey is what it is. And again, it's about listening to what you need in that moment. So there have been times where I literally would have a 3-hour block of time in my morning. I think the first thing when you wake up in the morning is your most important and most impactful time, because your brain is operating at a lower cycles per second. And so you're in a more impressionable state because you've just come out of, sleeping. So you've come out of that delta and then into beta and, into alpha. So that's the time to really put in the thing that is going to recondition your mind. And so I would wake up to doing like my oath of manifestation. And in fact, I'm still a part of a group that we meet weekly, a oath manifestation group that's now led by Shannon Bobo, around coming together in community and having a powerful intention and saying this oath out loud. And you can look up, because the oath came from Agape, so Michael Beckwith, who people may from The Secret. So Reverend Cheryl Ward within Agape, or within that community, created this very powerful oath. And so that's something that I will say and look to embody on a regular basis, that shapes the way that I see opportunity, and know that there are always unexpected blessings that are going to come to me that I experience in my daily life. So one, doing those affirmations, 2, writing. And so this practice came from Julia Cameron's book, The Artist's Way, where she encourages you to do morning pages. And so it's basically 3 pages of uninterrupted writing. You don't think about about it. You just whatever, it's a brain dump. So you just whatever is coming up for you in your consciousness, you just write it down. And there would be days where I'm just like, I'm writing these words out. I have no idea what to write, but I know I need to write 3 pages. So I'm going to just write. and getting into the practice of doing it, because it's like when we don't express ourselves, when we don't allow things to flow through us, they can get stuck in us. And so it's like clearing the pipeline, and you will find that, you know, things will, especially by the time you get to that 3rd page, there will be like brilliance that comes up, or something that you have been dealing with that you finally get to like put down and get out of your energetic being and onto the paper. And so it's a really powerful practice. And then, of course, from Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich, the practice of utilizing the DCA. So that's the definite chief aim. So utilizing Napoleon Hill's 6 steps to riches to determine what it is that I want for my life, what it is that I'm focused on right now, and how I'm going to go about doing that. And then stating that out loud with feeling in the morning and before I go to bed at night. And so those are some of the things, and also the self-confidence formula in Think and Grow Rich. I did a 90-day challenge with that, where I wrote out that self-confidence formula every single day for 90 days, because I needed to get that into my consciousness. I needed to get it into my body, because confidence is something that you need to be able to step into places. So those are some of the practices. And then, of course, like getting vitamin D. So getting out in the sun, getting out.
Absolutely.
That are like physical, that also help with the mental, you know, reset and mental health. So
yes, absolutely. And I can concur more with going outside and getting the sun, especially. That is my first thing I do before I even get in the shower, is like go out and take a walk, because your head is clear. This is where you do get the downloads, you know, and you think of your purpose and why you're here and what you're, you know, everyone has a purpose. Everyone has a purpose. And our journey is to find out what it is that we're meant to do to serve others, right? And so I believe, you know, and you know, I say spiritual practice, but really it's a practice to connect with ourselves, you know, to understand and discover, you know, our purpose. So I don't want people to think of it as a religious thing, but more of honoring your own soul on what it is that we came to do. Because if we don't have a purpose, we are truly feeling lost. You know, we don't know what to do. We're looking at the outside, and we're saying the outside is controlling our lives, which the truth of the fact is we can take control back.
And something I want to say to that, and I think it's so true, is like, if you don't feel like you have a direction for your life, you don't have purpose, then you feel lost and out of sorts, and just kind of like, what am I doing? Why am I even doing this? And I think sometimes we even get caught in routines of doing things, because we think that, okay, that's a part of what I'm supposed to do, you know, as a human being, as a Black person, as a, you know, woman, as a whatever. Here's the thing. We are creators, and we're co-creators in this experience of life. There is no magic book with your purpose written in it. You get to choose that. I think that was the biggest like aha for me, because I'm like, no, we have been taught to look outside when we need to look inside. It's the law of correspondence. As above, so below. As within, so without. Our exterior world is a reflection of our internal world, our internal condition. We get to choose what we're here for, what we want to do, how we want to be of service, what brings us joy. We get to choose that. And there's no one, no thing that is saying, here is what you're supposed to be doing with your life. Here's what. That's the fallacy. Like, that's the cosmic joke, really. We have agency, and we get to choose. Now, that can feel scary. I know for me in the beginning it was, because it was like, wait. I have to make that determination. I have to make that choice. I don't know. Like, there's too many things to like choose from. But
Yeah.
that's when you take the time to just go within and listen. And when you listen, the answers are there. You know, and it's giving yourself permission to go for it.
Yes, of course. And it's to let go of what you were trained to think, right? Because we are conditioned, Dr. Bruce Lipton, I don't know if you follow him, but he says,
Biology of
prior,
belief. Oh, yes.
That's it, right? So prior to 6 years old, we are conditioned to believe certain things, to accept certain things. And those beliefs carry us throughout life until you start questioning, wait a minute, that wasn't my belief. That's somebody else's belief. Or you say, you know what, you get curious and you say, well, what if that's not true for me? I was raised in Italy. We housewives, we stay home, we don't do anything. We're supposed to just cater to our men. And I decided I was going to go to school and I was going to get a degree and I was going to, I don't want to say break that curse, but I wasn't going to live that life that,
Or break that limitation. Yeah.
Correct. And that's when the doors open up for me, right? So it's like we will get disowned. We will get, looked at differently and may be called many names. I know I was when I stepped outside that box. When I said, no, I want more. No, we can do more. I cannot depend on someone else to give me the life I want, because what if that person goes away, right? So, you start asking all these questions, and I asked those at a very, very young age, where I made a lot of changes in my life just to keep experiencing what the best of life can offer. Like, we can't just accept what we see. I mean, it's not fair. It's like I say to myself, this is what we teach, right? We want to teach what's possible, because you don't have to accept your current circumstances and say, I'm doomed. Because whatever, Henry Ford says, whatever, if you think you can, if you think you can't.
Yeah, whatever the mind can conceive and believe, achieve. Yes.
That's right. So it's really, you said you have choices that you can make. And, I'm so happy for you, because you've made so many choices. And also the fact that you're not thinking about yourself. Your choices that you've made are truly sparking change in the world. Let's talk about your book for a minute, because I still cannot get over, like, okay, my show is Sparking Change with Gigi, and can you put up that book for me, please?
I just received this today.
The Power of Inner Sparkle. This is what. Tell us a little bit about your book.
Yes, so this is a new collaborative book series. So the publishers from Jack Canfield's Chicken Soup for the Soul series partnered with Heart and Soul Publishing to do a women's empowerment series. So there are 12 inspiring stories to ignite the heart and soul. So 12 authors came together to be able to share their really powerful stories of resilience and hope and overcoming, and really how each and every one of us can step into that inner power, step into that inner sparkle, because we are here to shine in these lives. Yes, we may face challenges, may face struggles, but that is not where the story ends. It doesn't have to be where the story ends. And so being able to learn from other people's experiences, to see what they went through and how they were able to overcome those things, can give us tools for our journey forward, give us like proof that we can break free. In fact, my chapter 7 is called Breaking Free, Living Limitlessly Beyond the Box, because I understand boxes like nobody's business. And I have broken free from so many of them in different aspects of my life. And so to be able to just vulnerably take the, take the veil down, let people in to the experiences that I've had within my life and how I'm being able to do the things that I do now, I think is so important because we need examples. We need raw, real things that we can hold on to and execute in our lives to get the things that we truly want.
I love that because we have this notion that we must see it to believe it, right? And it's okay that you can, somebody can watch this show and hear you and feel you and see that you were the proof. That's okay. But now they have to go back and now they have to do it for themselves, right? So this is the inner work that we're talking about, that you have to believe in yourself that if you can do it, anybody else can do it. If I can do it, I was in a position where I had to make a decision with my health, whether I go with, and it was just a personal choice. I'm a cancer survivor. I didn't think the vaccine was a good choice for me. And I lost my job because I didn't take the vaccine. So I had to make that choice and believe in myself and listen to that voice that says, it's okay. You have a master's in business, in banking, you have a master's in education. You can go, you have the skills that you can find another job. Go ahead and follow your gut and do what you need to do. And here I am. I promise you, I never had, on my resume to be a TV host or write an author or all these things that I followed my gut. I followed that higher self talking to me and saying, it's okay, move on. I'm guiding you. Bob Proctor, I'm sure you heard of Bob Proctor from, The Secret as well. And I never forget, his words were, you make a decision and you move. From the beginning of this show, you talked about a lot of actions that you took. And, how do we rise? We rise by taking action. First, we have that vision because everything starts in the mind. Everything starts in the mind. It doesn't matter what you're looking at, right? Everything starts in the mind. So you have that vision in mind. And then that strong desire, that burning desire, you take action and it will come to life. As long as you don't give up, right?
Persistence.
Yes.
That's why I love the story of like the bamboo tree, because it's like that seed gets put into the ground, it's outside, it gets watered. 5 years will go by and you see absolutely no sign of any progress. And then at that 5-year mark, that bamboo shoots up like 10 feet into the air. And so it's just like under the surface, like we are doing the work, we're reading the books, we're, making those small shifts in our belief system about ourselves and our ability and our worth and our beauty and our power. And it's like you're looking on the outside and you're like, but my condition hasn't changed. My bank account hasn't changed. None of these things have changed. And then you can get to a point where then that tipping point happens in your life and you're like, whoa, my entire life has changed. And sometimes you may see it little by little. Sometimes you may not see anything at all. And then it all just hits. So it's about persistence and consistency in our practice and rewiring of ourselves. It is our job to choose what we want for ourselves, our lives, and then to do what is necessary, to learn what is necessary to then make that shift. And the information is everywhere. It's in the lyrics of the songs. It's in the whisper in the wind. It is literally in the books of all high achievers. It's on the television programs that are in alignment for high vibrational frequency. It's everywhere. It's in coaches like you. It's everywhere. We have to tune in and listen. And most importantly, it's within us. But you have to quiet down and listen.
And that's the secret, is to get in a place where it's just me, myself, and I. I said the three most important people, me, myself, and I, in order to listen to that voice, in order to um, obey it, be obedient to it. Because when you are obedient to yourself, nothing can stop you. Because you're like, I'm going to do this no matter what it takes. And when you have that belief before you actually see it, I mean, this is how, people do the marathon, right? Or big sports people get,
until you believe it.
that's right. And it's really undoing what we have learned all our life.
Yes.
And it takes commitment to yourself, and it takes vulnerability to go ask for help. How do you do it? How did you do it? Because being vulnerable is requesting, something so powerful to come out of you, because it's got to break through. Like, you got to have this breakthrough, and it's being vulnerable to have that breakthrough, because we do have to heal from everything we've gone through in order to connect to our true self, in order to shine our light, because it's an eternal job, right?
Yeah, I would say, especially like for me, being someone who, I'm in the public, eye or whatever, in the public light.
Yes.
So there was a time where I felt very like protective, and like I put up my guards and shields of, no, I can only be seen in a certain way, and I can only present myself in a certain way. And so vulnerability was like, oh, no. Like, I need to be like Miss Perfect all the time, in terms of like, appearance, speech, not showing people if I was in need of something, like I just have to figure it out. And I know a lot of that conditioning came because, like, even within my family, like, we didn't go, or we weren't taught to go outside for help. It was like, no, we figured out within these doors, and then on the outside, we have, an appearance to uphold, within the community, within the church, and so it was just kind of like I wasn't given that as a blueprint for asking for help from youth. And then I only continued that on as I got older and became even more solidified in that belief to like, don't ask, because then people will see you as weak, or they see you as like not good enough, and like you can't together. And I just remember I was working on my very first book, the one, How to Become a Publicity Magnet, and I was working with my managing editor. And I remember one night just getting to this really this emotional place, and I'm just like, I literally have my, like, because I wrap my hair at night. I mean, even though it's short, I still wrap it. I wrap my hair at night, silk wrap, and I had my hair wrap still on, and I'm on the phone with her, and I'm just like crying down and like having this conversation. And she was like, Havilah, what you're expressing right now, you should share this. And I'm like, what do you mean share this? She's like, you should do a video and share this. And I was like, a video with me looking like this, like in this state? Like, I was like, I got a do-rag on my head. I was like, I can't do. And she was just like, this vulnerable place that you're in right now, this is what people need. This is what they will respond to, because this is the truth of the stages that they're in their lives at times.
Yes.
Be able to receive that from you, because what you're sharing right now is so beautiful and real and raw. And I was just like, and I knew, like, talk about that internal voice. That voice was like, you should do it. But everything in me was like, no, you shouldn't. Like, people can't see you like this. and I finally, like, it took me a while, and I'm like fighting with myself. And I was just like, the very thing that I feel like I can't do is the very thing that I know I need to do for my own breakthrough. And I ended up doing a video. I posted it in like a private group with our the other platinum partners who are part of like Tony Robbins' world, because like I was a part of his program where we traveled around the world with Tony Robbins. And so our community, like, I posted it in our like private Facebook group, this video that I did, and I had the do-rag on and everything, and I'm just like in tears. And the outpouring of love that came after me posting that video. And it sparked something in me. Talk about spark and change. It sparked something in me where it's like this belief that I've had for all these years that vulnerability was weakness was a lie. It was not true. And look at this outpouring of love that I'm receiving from these people who are connecting with this, who feel like they now can be more vulnerable. They can express themselves more deeply because I was an example of that, in this group. And it was just like, no, this is where your power is. You being real, being human and being raw, that's your power. And so it allowed me to start creating a new belief system and starting to shed all of this, like, you got to be perfect. You got to be this. You don't have to be nothing. Like, you could be whatever you want to be.
Be yourself, right?
To be you. You get to be you. And that's life. Like, that's living. That's like what we came here to do, is to like discover and choose and be who we want to be.
I love that. I love that. It's understanding that that's your true medicine. What you did is not only heal yourself from that, but you also gave others to heal from themselves. And now they are going to pass that on, right? Because they go, oh my God, look what she did for me. And this whole concept, which I'm still like in awe, understanding that we as beings, are here to support each other in a way that we are each other's healers. It's our experiences that help people to get stronger, because they're looking at you and going, well, if she can do it, I can too. If she can survive that, then I can too. Right?
We learn from each other and how we show up. Like, I didn't know, because again, my family, like everything, like we took care of everything ourselves, like in-house. So much is like, so my mom was the one who was primarily, like she cared for the home, like even though she worked full time, but she also like cleaned and everything like that. Like, the concept of having a housekeeper or having someone come into your private space and clean your space for you was absolutely a no-no. Like it was foreign to me. I get around another group of people, especially when I was a part of that in the Platinum Partnership, around these very high achieving, high level expanded consciousness thinkers. And I remember one of my friends was like, why would I take away a $20, $30 an hour job from someone who may enjoy that type of work or who needs, that opportunity, when I don't even enjoy doing it? And my time would better be used in my zone of genius, doing what it is that I came here to do. And then I can allow space for other people to come in and help me to do the things that I need within my life. And I remember the first time that I got a housekeeper, and I didn't tell my mom. Like, I kept it a secret because I was just like, I don't know if she's going to be mad at me if I did this. And then it was just like, and I was so grateful that I did, because I was like, oh my God, like, it takes so much time to do this. And I don't even want to do this. Like, I'm a very meticulous person, like a very clean person, but like the going in and getting like the small details of things or whatever, I was just like, the time that it would take me to do it, because I want to be so about it.
Yes.
All the time I could have like created a program. Like, I could have like filmed something. I could have done something that was what I enjoy doing, because I don't enjoy doing that. And it was just, it opened up a whole new world. And that's why we need to share. We need to be open. And because we learn from each other. We learn from each other's examples and stories, and we see what is possible in life.
Possible.
Yes.
I love it. I love it. So last question as we take it down for a landing. For women who are struggling, trying to find their way, what would you redefine success? How do you redefine success?
Success is what you define it as. And so for me, it's being able to do the things that I enjoy It's being able to get paid simply just to exist. For me, success is being able to lay my head down at night and know that the decisions that I made, the actions that I took were in alignment with what I truly believed and felt and wanted to do, and not doing things just because I think that I have to do them. So I think it's really important that we decide for ourselves what success looks like, and then let that be your caliber or your gauge of if you're living in alignment with that, and not take anybody else's rules for success and make that have to be yours. You get to choose even in that area too.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Well, we're going to take this down for a landing. Havilah, thank you so much for joining us. You know, you're definitely the proof of what's possible. You know, I am honored that you came here, took the time to share your journey with us, and I wish you all the best. And keep going, keep going.
I want to show you all something real quick.
Tell me,
So
tell
this is
me.
the post, the film.
I love it. I'm in love.
Yeah.
I'm going to put that all in the, you know, in the information so people can connect with you. What a beautiful, beautiful journey of connecting with people's heart, because that's what that project did for you, is really connect people at their core. So I recommend anyone to buy it and experience the love that comes from there. So thank you so much for joining me today. And until next time, everyone, this is Why Women Rise. I'm your host, Giovanna Tartaron. Thank you so much, Havilah. Bye-bye, everyone.